everybody. Rise and shine. Let's get going. Today is the day. I don't know what today's the day for, but it's the day, damn it. Anyway, today's episode. I've been doing a lot of videos talking about motorcycles this past week, and you guys seem to really be liking it. So I'm going to stay right along that pattern. And today's topic is truths about owning and riding motorcycles that you may or may not know. A lot of this stuff is just simple, easy, common sense stuff that you've probably heard before. And if you have, this is your reminder. And then some of it is just good stuff to know, especially like if you're a new rider or new to the sport of motorcycling. So, the first truth. I know everybody hates to hear this one, but it's the truth. Riding a motorcycle is dangerous. You have nothing around you. You have two wheels underneath you. Mechanical issues, people not paying attention, you losing focus, all of that is extremely detrimental to your survival. And when you crash a motorcycle, they're usually a lot worse than a fender bender in the parking lot. There is usually massive damage to the bike. A lot of times it's totaled. Massive damage to the rider. Guys, wrecking a motorcycle is no joke. So that was the first thing that I wanted to cover. Is it just is dangerous. But let me add, what's that? What do they call that? Some kind of sandwich, right? Where you put like bad, good, bad on top of each other. A compliment sandwich or some shit like that. I don't know what it's called. But let me tell you, riding a motorcycle is also fucking awesome. It is one of the coolest things you can do. It is just a way to travel that is unexplainable. I mean, you get all the sights, the sounds, the smells, the feels, the freedom, the noise. I mean, there's just no other feeling in the world like riding a motorcycle. So, I highly recommend it. I just wanted you to know it is dangerous. Another thing, motorcycle tires. Motorcycle tires are half the size of car tires. They last half as long if you're lucky, and they cost twice as much. So, I guess what I'm getting at is motorcycles are expensive or more expensive to maintain. I had a lot of people, especially when I worked at Harley, a lot of people were like, I'm going to buy a motorcycle to commute to work every day because that's going to be so much cheaper than my car. Well, I am here to tell you that it is not. The parts for a motorcycle cost way more than parts for a car. Well, I'm going to save a lot of money on gas. All right. Most of the new motorcycles require high-octane gas. So even if your motorcycle gets better gas mileage than your car does, and let's face it, most motorcycles get what, 30 to 40 miles per gallon? And most small cars probably get about the same. But let's say you got a truck and you get 20 miles to the gallon. Your bike gets almost double that. But you also have to put premium in your bike. So premium can be what, 75 cents to $1 more per gallon? Think about that. If you're just thinking about, I'm going to buy it to save money. The maintenance is higher. Gasoline is higher. Tires are higher. That is the other thing. Maintenance is way more important on a motorcycle than it is a car. Because like I said earlier, you're counting on everything on that motorcycle to work properly to keep you up on two wheels and not from sliding across the highway. So that means, tire pressure is important, brakes are important. Every little piece to your motorcycle is an important piece that has to be maintained and taken care of and paid attention to. In a car, you don't have to do that. So that is another point to this. That is one of those truths. When you're thinking about, well, you know what, I'm going to buy a motorcycle to save myself money. Motorcycles do not save you money. Now, on the flip side of that, Motorcycles are fucking awesome, if I didn't say that earlier. Another thing you got to think about when owning a motorcycle is insurance. And insurance, at least in Florida, works differently on a motorcycle than it does a car. So most insurance companies in Florida don't cover the medical. They only cover the motorcycle. It's pretty cheap. Like, I think I pay $17 a month for my motorcycles. But if I get in an accident by myself without another car involved, they don't cover any of my medical. So that means that I have to have my regular insurance and medical insurance to make sure I'm covered. Then you throw in gear. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, in Florida, you don't have to wear a helmet. Sort of. I believe the law reads that you don't have to wear a helmet if you have medical insurance. So there's gear that you need to buy in order to ride the motorcycle as well. If you're going to ride it as a daily commuter or any long distance, you're probably going to want rain gear. There's an expense. So all of these little aspects you have to think about when you're buying a motorcycle. But one of the very, very most important aspects of that is that insurance. Because like I said earlier, if you get into an accident, the carnage is usually much greater. Even if you're going 10 miles an hour and a car pulls out in front of you, you're still going to go probably over the handlebars onto the hood of that car. And I don't know about you, but I'm old, and that's going to hurt. So that's probably going to equal a trip to the hospital. That's not cheap. Whatever kind of meds, even if you're fine, they're probably going to give you some kind of meds, pain medication or something, because you're going to be sore, maybe a little scratched up, but that's not a cheap trip. And that is just when you're going 10 miles an hour, right? So these are all things to consider as you consider your motorcycle journey, because as I said, motorcycles are fucking awesome. You just have to be responsible while riding them. The other thing that you're going to face is you're going to face criticism. It doesn't matter what you do. If you wear a helmet, people are going to be like, yeah, I don't wear helmets. Only wimps wear helmets. If you don't wear a helmet, everybody's going to be like, you got to wear a helmet because that's the safest thing, even though it's none of their business. If you wear tennis shoes, the boot guys are going to be like, well, you need to wear boots. If you ride an Indian, the Harley guy is going to be like, well, you need to ride a Harley. If you ride a Harley, the Indian guy is going to be like, well, you need to ride an Indian. And then you're going to have the Honda boys that are like, Harleys are all junk. So just be prepared for all of this. And although all of that stuff that I said has some negatives to it, riding motorcycles is fucking awesome. Go out, find you a motorcycle, enjoy your life, let the wind blow through your hair, smell the smells, ride the rides, and live your best life. And forget about what everybody else thinks. Pick the bike that works for you, that you can afford, wear the gear you want to wear, buy insurance, that's not optional, get good insurance, and go out and have the time of your fucking life. And we'll see you tomorrow.